Okay, guys. Hi. This is Delialah Falcon-Lotich. Welcome to our product call. Sorry, I'm just a minute late getting started. I was having some technical difficulties as usual. This call-in line doesn't like me for some reason, but we're on, and we have a treat tonight. I am going to go over some of the product information for our most popular products. I'm going to explain Isagenix a little bit, and then towards the end of the call, I'm going to have a guest speaker. She is a clinical dietitian. She works in a weight loss clinic, so she works in the field of helping people get healthy through losing weight. Her name is Amber Hoover, and we are in for a treat with her because she's very, very, very knowledgeable, and she has incorporated Isagenix into her lifestyle as well. So you'll be hearing from her later on in the call, but I will go ahead and get started. First, let me just tell you a little bit about myself very quickly. Delialah Falcon-Lotich, and I've been a health and nutrition writer for the past 10 years. Prior to that, I studied holistic nutrition and food science in college, and so it's just kind of led me, my background and lifestyle, I have a very natural, healthy lifestyle, led me down the path of Isagenix, which I was not interested in initially. I had said no many, many times, simply because I was already eating, I'm a vegetarian, I was already eating an organic diet, 90% raw. I'm making my own cleaning products and just trying everything I knew how to stay healthy and have just a clean living environment. And so when I was introduced to the products, I was not interested. I did recognize that it was a very good program. I was able to look over the ingredient panel, and not only did I see nothing that was unhealthy, there was no artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, no soy, no gluten. So I saw that not only was there nothing bad, but there was a lot of very, very good properties in the products. But I was still of the mindset where you just can get all of the foods and the nutrients that you need from whole foods and from nature and just the diet that I was living. I had no health issues to speak of. I wasn't looking to lose weight. So it was a little difficult to convince me that this was something that I needed to incorporate into my lifestyle. When I did eventually say yes, I did so without expecting to see much of a difference. And I was, I can say pleasantly, but at the time I'm going to say unpleasantly only because I had to admit that I was wrong. So I was unpleasantly surprised to find that on day 3, I noticed some profound changes in my body. I had a lot more energy. My skin had cleared up due to the hormone balance that occurs when you bring your body into an alkaline state. I had a lot more mental clarity, and I could focus better as a writer. I tended to get distracted often. I had 4 children at the time when I started the program, so naturally I would be writing and get distracted if one of them came in the room, and it would take me a long time to get back into the swing of things. And I noticed very quickly that I didn't have to do that. I would turn around, I'd be on point again within a minute. And so I had to really go back and relearn so much of what I had learned about the lifestyle that I was living, because according to the books, I was doing everything correctly, and I shouldn't have had the experience that I had with this program. And what that did for me also, I dove into the products and I heavily started researching because I wanted to know why this product was so different than the foods that I was eating, because it's a processed food. It came in a can, which was like a big hex mark across that in my house. Like we don't eat processed foods. We limit processed foods. So I needed to know what was going on. And it also opened my eyes to the fact that considering how healthy I am and the lifestyle I was living and what it did for me, what would this product do for other people? Because I was already in the field of trying to educate people about health and nutrition prior to this. That's what I did with my writing. I wrote articles about the dangers of soy in a diet, how to detox your body naturally with herbs and stuff like that. So this was my field of study. So naturally you can understand why it would have been so perplexing to me to it was like I was going against everything that I spoke about. So, so I started saying, well, what would this do for everybody else? And then I ended up sharing it with everybody else, and it just kind of had this snowball effect from there, and now here I am doing these phone calls. So just to talk about the products a little bit, I like to talk about the shakes. I like to talk about our Cleanse for Life drink, and I like to talk about our adaptogen drink. It's called Ionix. To start with the shakes, because this program, well, it's a very flexible program. It's a very easy program to do. It's not a diet. A lot of people know about us for weight loss, but we are not a weight loss company. We're a nutritional cleansing company. The goal of our products and what sets us apart from everyone else. We're not just a meal replacement shake. We're not just a protein shake. We're the only program on the market that is designed to bring your body from an acidic environment to an alkaline environment. And that's what our shakes do. They convert you from acidic to alkaline, your pH balance. They bring it to where it needs to be. Once that happens, then you incorporate the cleanse portion of the program, which helps the body assisted in flushing out toxins and impurities and just removing them from the body where they're stored in fat cells around the organs. So that sets us apart from everybody else because I've yet to this date, and I'm constantly looking. I'm always on, doing my research. I still do my research and some writing here and there, and I'm always immersed in studies and research studies and, just trying to find something else just because I want to stay abreast of all the new developments. And there still is no program like ours. So we're very, very different from many of the other quote-unquote shake programs on the market. But yes, shakes are a big part of this program. They're one of the most crucial elements in the 30-day system. And so why is that? We'll talk about the shakes. Well, our shakes, they are a complete full meal replacement. They're completely balanced. They're specifically formulated to be a complete meal replacement. They have a perfect balance of protein and carbs and fats, sugar, fibers. They're everything that you want to get from one meal in your shake. The protein really is what sets us apart. It's basically our claim to fame. The reason for that is because our shakes are undenatured. And what does that mean? They're not heated. Denatured meaning that it's processed and it changes the original structure of the shakes. So, of course, we have to process somewhat when we get our whey protein. You're not just drinking the protein, but we're not heated when we process. We have a patented cold fusion filtration system in place. And why that is so important is because when you don't heat your whey protein, that whey protein retains all of its live enzymes and all of the amino acids. And every other protein if you eat chicken, you're cooking it, so you're heating it. If you're eating an egg, you're not eating it raw, you're cooking it. So you're changing the makeup of those foods. And anytime you heat something, you're depleting it of its nutrients. I think most people at this point have heard or would know that when you cook your vegetables, you're depleting them of more than half of the nutrients. So they're much better in their raw food state. That's why the raw food diets have become a big craze in the health food community lately. So you want to just try to eat as many raw foods as you can. So while, the shakes aren't, it's not a raw whey protein, but it's not heated, so it's as close to raw as you can get. So that's, the reason why they can do that, the reason why we can use this cold filtration process and other companies cannot, is because our protein is sourced from whey from cows in New Zealand. And New Zealand has the highest food quality standards in the world. There are cows there. We call them the happy cows. They graze happily in season, on grass. They're not corn-fed. They graze when they're supposed to graze, in the sunlight. They're not living in crammed quarters in a barn somewhere where they're overstocked and there's no room to turn around. It's nature is doing it right. They do it the right way there in New Zealand. They let things happen the way they're meant to happen. So that creates such a clean source. The cows are so clean, and the environment they live in is so clean that the whey, therefore, is very clean as well, and we're able to process it without heating it. So when you don't heat and you get those live enzymes, what's important for that is those live enzymes are what break down the food. And so let me think of how I want to explain this the best. When I tell people this all the time, a lot of people get hung up looking at the ingredients, like they'll look at the protein on the food that they're eating and they'll say, well, this has 20 grams of protein. But it's not really accurate because you're not absorbing 20 grams of protein because it's not a high-quality protein. The food in our country today is broken down. It's not. It's nutritionally bankrupt. That's a phrase that you hear through isogenics a lot. The soils that our food grows in is depleted of the nutrients. It's depleted of the minerals. We have toxins all around us. We have GMOs in our food. Even our organic foods have an allowable level of toxins and chemicals in them. Organic doesn't mean toxin-free. It just means that we have less toxins in organic than we have in conventional. So our food quality today is not what it was even 10 years ago, let alone 20, 30 years ago. There was a study out of UCLA where they tested the nutrient level in a bowl of spinach. They said one bowl of spinach gave you the nutrients that you need that was in 1957, I believe. They did the similar test, another pilot study recently, and they found that it would take 27 bowls of spinach today to equal the nutrient value in one bowl of spinach from the original study. So it just goes to show you how those nutrients in our food supply are depleted. And we're not absorbing, we're not digesting, and we're not absorbing, and we're not getting the nutrients. So when you have those live enzymes, the enzymes go to work. Your body recognizes it as a whole food. It starts to digest properly. When you have digestion, you have absorption. When you have absorption, you're actually feeding your body the nutrients that it needs. We see people that eat and eat and eat all day long, but yet they're always hungry. Why is that? Why is it that you can eat something and then come back an hour later? You can eat a full meal, and an hour later you're hungry again. Why? Because it's not real food. Either it's the GMO foods, which are just man-made. I call them Frankenfoods. Or even if it's natural food, it's not containing the nutrients. So essentially, we're starving ourselves. Our body's always in a state of starvation because it's not absorbing the nutrients that it needs. And the live enzymes in our shakes, they take care of that problem. On top of that, when you don't heat your whey protein, your amino acids stay intact, and that is so important. The amino acids are the building blocks of our body. So I always give this puzzle analogy. It's one of my favorites, and I do it on every call because I think it just paints the picture so clearly for people. I compare our amino acids to a puzzle, a 500-piece puzzle. You take that puzzle, you throw it on the floor, and I set a timer and say you have 10 minutes to put that puzzle back together. Go. You're not going to do it. You might find little chunks and pieces that you're going to get together. So you'll have a clump here with, maybe 5 pieces of the puzzle, and then some scattered pieces, and another clump of 2 pieces over here. Okay, time's up. That's it. You have a mess. You don't have a full puzzle. You just have some random pieces and a few chunks. Well, it's the same thing with the amino acids when they're heated up. They're heated up and they defragment, and now your body, you consume them, and your body, you have about 10 to 15 minutes before you start to digest. So your body naturally starts grabbing all those pieces of the amino acids to try to put them back together to form the complete amino acid profile. But it can't naturally in 10 minutes. It's not going to happen. And so you digest these amino acids that are defragmented, and your body can't absorb them. So you don't get that lean muscle that you want to build. You don't obtain the nutrients. Amino acids are essential for so much. They help with an optimal balance in our body. It's not just about putting on lean muscle and from the protein. It's also linked to a healthier immune system, improved sleep, and I could go on and on about amino acids. I could do a whole call on that. So when you have these live enzymes and the amino acids intact, you just get this, your body recognizes as a whole food, and that's what brings your body from a state of acidity to a state of alkalinity. So again, I say that those shakes are a claim to fame because they really get things going. They get the body into that balance, into a homeostasis where it's meant to be, where it can function efficiently. I don't know if I said this in the beginning of the call or not, but if not, if I did, sorry, I'll say it again. If not, I'll say it now. We at Isogenics, we do not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any illnesses or disease. What we do is we bring the body into a state, by feeding it pure nutrition, we bring your body into a state where it can do those things itself. We're not, the FDA only, they regulate drugs, and they say that only drugs can cure. And so we don't say that. We're not a drug. We're just food. So I have to put that disclaimer out there at all times and make sure people understand what I'm saying. But no, we don't cure you, but we get your body into this balance. And it's simply because we're such a pure food source. So those are the shakes. The other thing that I want to talk about is before I go into the cleanse, because you're going to take the cleanse after you're going to take the shakes for a few days, 3, 4, 5 days. I usually say 5 days is how long I want you to take the shakes. 2 shakes a day in addition to eating meals. You're going to take those shakes as meal replacements. Keep eating your meals, keep eating your snacks, and that's going to bring your body into a state of alkaline balance. Once you're alkaline, we're going to go ahead and give you the Cleanse for Life. But before that, in addition to the shakes, you're going to drink this Ionics drink. It's called Ionics Supreme, and it is our adaptogen blend. It is a blend of adaptogen herbs, and adaptogens are just something that are so amazing. That's another thing that I could do an entire call on. I studied them in school, and they were so exciting to me because they are herbs that actually, as the name says, adapt to what your body needs. Adaptogen, the term came from the word adapto, which is a Greek word that means to adjust. So they adjust to the needs of your body. What they are is they're herbal plants that produce these special substances that help the plants to adapt to overcome stressors in their own environment. So these plants produce them for themselves, but then those adaptogens are converted over to use in humans. Not all adaptogen plants, but the ones that we have in our Ionics, they have certain properties that are also beneficial to us in the same way that they are to the plant. The way they work is that they normalize the body's functioning while it is under stress. We call it our stress drink because they help the body reduce the effects of both physical and mental stress. When I was studying this in school, it was one of my favorite things that I learned about because there's nothing else like it. The best way I can explain this is if you're high-strung, if you have one of those days at work where you're just like so high-strung, you can't calm down, your nerves are shot, your muscles are tight, you're just really tense and you can't relax, and you drink our Ionics drink, our adaptogen drink, it's going to calm you. You're going to feel that flush, that wave of calmness flush over you. You're going to relax your shoulders. You're going to be able to take a breath. You're going to calm down. But if another day during the week you're having the opposite, now it's Friday and you're dragging because you've spent all week at work and you're just mentally exhausted, you can't wait to get home, you're dragging your feet, you have no energy, you want to reach for a cup of coffee, that same drink, when you drink it, it's going to give you energy. So it adapts to what your body needs at the moment. That's what these herbs do. They've been used in ancient Chinese medicine for years. For centuries. For centuries they've been in use, and just recently, within the last decade, they've made their way into use in our conventional medicine here. There's a lot of research studies going on with them. I can't think of one offhand, but there's been so many of them. And so that means that just validates the fact that these herbs work to battle stress and inflammation within the body. They also work to calm inflammation. That's why they're so popular in our athlete community right now. If you have a sprained ankle or if you twist your knee or you have any type of muscle injury, you drink the adaptogen drink, and you can have it up to 4 times a day for chronic, for acute injuries like that, and it's going to go right to the source. It's going to adapt to the needs. So it's not just going to be like an Advil where it systemically runs through your entire body with anti-inflammatory properties. It's going to find that root source in your body that needs it, and it's going to concentrate all of its efforts there, adapting to what you need. So it really is one of the most amazing things that I have ever studied in school, and I was so excited to find a product that contained this. So that is part of our 30-day program. These herbs, the adaptogen herbs, they have antioxidant properties as well, so they help protect the body from oxidative stress, which just goes hand in hand with the other products in our 30-day system. And different adaptogens have different functions in the body. Let me think, what do we have? Wolfberry is one that we use, and that's got a lot of antioxidants, so that's going to help with that oxidative stress. We also have rhodiola, which it increases physical endurance. So again, that's going to help if you have, in addition to endurance, but it's going to help with sprains and strains and stuff like that. Ashwagandha is another popular one, and that's been used for centuries to support healthy brain development. So again, that's going to go to that mental stress that you might have. Schizandra is another one, and that one's used. You might have heard that one. It's probably the most commonly heard adaptogen herb is the Schizandra, and that's used to decrease fatigue or just exhaustion or, just mental fatigue. There's other ones. I can't think of them offhand, but all of the adaptogen herbs that are in our Ionics drink, they work together, and when all those properties are combined together in that drink, you get this powerhouse, and it's a very potent but very safe herbal drink that just goes to work in the body to eliminate mental and physical stress and bring down inflammation. So you're going to drink that every morning along with the shakes that you drink. And then we go to the cleanse. Our Cleanse for Life, it's another herbal drink. It contains herbs, roots, minerals, vitamins, and nutrients It was formulated to nourish our bodies and support the natural detoxification systems that the body was designed to do. Like our body was meant and designed to detox itself. The kidney, the liver, the lungs, the skin, these are all detox organs that our body has in place to remove impurities naturally, right? We need those filters. We couldn't survive without them. The problem is that the society that we live in, this toxic environment, toxins are everywhere. They're in the air, they're in the water, they're in our food, they're in our clothing, they're in beauty products, they're in skincare, they're in hair, shampoos, they're on our sheets, they're in our mattresses, they're in our cars. There's studies out now, they're in cash register receipts. I mean, plastics, heavy metals, we are surrounded. Our body is just bombarded with toxins every single day. There's no way to avoid them. But so our organs are now overloaded and overworked, and they can't keep up with it. They're detoxing like they're meant to, but not nearly as effectively and efficiently as they need to for us to maintain optimal health. They're probably working at maybe 50% if we're lucky. It's probably not even that. So the combination of ingredients in the cleanse drink, it works synergistically to support the body's detox pathways and just help them work more efficiently. So it's not that the cleanse is it's not really a cleanse. We call it Cleanse for Life, but it's really a nutrient drink. It's not some miracle magic drink that's just going to remove these toxins from your body. Your body is the miracle. The cleanse drink is just putting your body into this balanced state that supports the body's natural abilities to cleanse. Part of the reason why is because we lower digestion on cleanse days. We're not eating. We're only eating we're drinking our cleanse drink, which is filled with nutrients, and we're eating these little snacks, but we're not eating meals, so we're going to lower digestion. And when you lower digestion, all the energy that went to digest is now able to go freely to those organs to help them work more efficiently. And then that combined with the fact that the nutrients that are, the herbs and the roots and minerals and nutrients that are in that drink are shown to support liver function and kidney function and all of the organs to help them detox naturally. So, toxins, they're stored primarily in our fat cells, and what the body does naturally to protect itself from these toxins, it coats them with fat and then stores them, and our body pads our organs with fat to protect them, right? Instead of letting those toxins in, it pads them with fat to keep those toxins out. And that's what we call visceral fat, that deep, dangerous fat that pads our organs. It's the really bad fat. Unlike white surface fat, that brown visceral fat is the one that's linked to heart disease and high cholesterol and stuff like that. So it's very, very important that we cleanse that out of the body. During this detox, the fat-soluble toxins, they're metabolized it just makes them less toxic, and it allows our body to freely release them. So it's not weight loss, it is actual fat loss as a side effect for when you do the program. Like I said, we're not weight loss, we're nutritional cleansing, but weight loss is a big, big side effect because when you get your body alkaline and flush out those toxins, your body doesn't need to pad the organs with fat anymore. And now those toxins that are stored in the fat cells, when you pull them out, those fat cells can open up. So this is why we have rapid fat loss. Now, rapid weight loss is not healthy because weight loss is not the same as fat loss. When you lose weight, you're losing nutrients and muscle and bone density. It's not the same thing, but when you lose fat, you want to lose fat. There's no benefit to hanging on to excess fat. And this goes for people who aren't overweight on the scale. We call it skinny fat. You can be myself, I had no weight to lose when I started Isogenics, but I still lost 7 pounds, and it was all around the belly. And not that I had this big belly, but I had 4 kids. I had a little pooch, and it was gone after I did my program. And that's because that was where I was storing, that's where the organs are, and that's where I was storing that visceral fat. So that's it. That sums up the program. It's really flexible. It's not a diet. It's not one of those things where you're not restricting calories severely, and the minute you eat something that's not allowed, you gain back weight. Everything's allowed. Well, not everything. We don't want you to have stuff that's bad for you, obviously. We don't want you to go eat at McDonald's every day. We don't want you to have artificial sweeteners because they're neurotoxins. They're horrible for you. Anything diet, anything with the label diet, Diet Coke, low sugar, no sugar, stuff like that. If it's got Splenda, any kind of artificial sweeteners, it's horrible for you. But when we're speaking about real foods, we don't say no carbs, we don't say no fat. Just eat healthy meals. Make healthy food choices, and this program will work for you. And let it work for you. Don't worry about trying to make this program work. Get these 2 shakes a day in your body, and within a few days you're going to become alkaline, and you're naturally going to see that it's working for you because your appetite's going to go down. You're not going to crave unhealthy foods. Your energy is going to soar. You're going to see all those effects. So it's not one of those things where you have to worry about, like, how am I going to do this, or I don't want to cut out certain foods. You don't have to. I want to have Amber hop on the call, and she is our registered dietitian, and she is going to speak to us for a few minutes about her experience, but I just have to find her line. Hang on one second. Todd, can you help me out with this? I don't want to drop this call. Just find Amber on here for me. I'll keep talking while he unmutes her. Amber, you're going to be unmuted. 1 second. Let me know when she's on. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. And so it's not a one-size-fits-all. Isogenics program is what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. Some people like to jump in, both feet, get started. They want to see results tomorrow. They want to get started on the program. They want to do it to a T. They want to cut out everything. They just want to follow the program and have maximum results very quickly. That's great, and we have a lot of people that do that. We also have a lot of people who don't want to do it that way. They want to dabble a little bit. They want to stick 1 foot in at a time, and that's okay too. You're still going to have results. It just might not be as quick. You're still going to get your body alkaline by drinking 2 shakes a day, but if you don't exercise and someone else is exercising, they're probably going to see results quicker. Or if you are eating a little bit more than you should be, as opposed to someone who isn't, they're going to see their results a little bit quicker. But at the end of the 30 days, you're all going to get at the same place because your bodies are both going to be alkaline. And so it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all. Did you get her, Todd? Should I have Amber, are you on?
I'm here.
Okay,
I think,
yes,
I'm here.
Take it away, Amber. Tell us a little bit about what you do and your experience so far.
Hey, Delilah. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the call tonight. I am honored to speak to you. Just a little background on myself. I've worked as a registered dietitian in a variety of settings, but for the last 6.5 years, I've worked specifically with individuals trying to lose or better manage their weight through medical weight loss and or surgical weight loss. So, of course, in these settings, I've encountered many individuals who are expert dieters. They've tried it all. I don't even have to list the number of diets out there. You guys know. Some people like to count calories or count carbs or drink Slim Fast like the lady I met at the gym this morning. In my profession, though, we're taught to work with people and develop small, achievable goals. So when individuals are following maybe a calorie counting diet, they are counting the calories that they take in, but they get to sort of choose how they're going to spend those calories. So some people may just focus on that number and choose to spend those calories in different ways. Some are going to be great choices, some are not going to be so great choices. Possibly even those folks that are eating clean, they may feel like, that's enough. But it's really hard to escape, those environmental factors that are overloading and overworking our bodies, as you mentioned earlier. It's hard for our bodies to really do, I think, a great job of removing the impurities like it's supposed to when it's so overwhelmed. So every person is different. There's not one meal plan that fits everybody, or so I thought until now. When I found Isogenics, I loved it from the start. I trusted my friend Delilah that she would not steer me in the wrong direction. I knew she was picky, 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 and I knew I was picky as well with everything that I put in my body and on my body. So I knew, well, if Delilah believes in this, it's got to, be worth a shot. And so I trusted that. Of course, we can't claim to cure, treat, or prevent any diseases, but when you fuel your body with amazing nutrition, filled with, undenatured whey protein from the happy cows and adaptogens and, a tonic that supports your body's natural ability to remove impurities, you can't help but notice that something is different. Sometimes it's a matter of a few days. It might be 2 or 3 days for some. It might be 5 to 8 days. But you notice a difference when you put isogenics in your body. And I think that it could help so many people on so many different levels. There won't be a day that goes by in my life that I won't be putting isogenics in my body because I feel so good when I do, and why would I want that to end? Just doesn't make sense. Same goes for my family. My family uses it religiously. My kids ask for the shakes. They think it's like a milkshake, and I'm sitting here in the back thinking, yeah, it's a milkshake, but it's really good for you, buddy. So it's amazing stuff. I'm probably one of the pickiest label readers that you will ever meet besides Delilah. And it's been amazing. Of course, I had to try it out for myself, and I think everyone could definitely benefit from putting some, doesn't have to be all, but some isogenics products in their bodies. I mean, if you're scared about what to try, start easy. Start slow. Talk to the person that introduced you to isogenics, and they can really help answer a lot of questions for you. So it's been amazing, and I can't wait to share it with other people. Keep sharing it with other people.
Amber, you make a good point, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you nursing your baby when you got started with isogenics?
I was nursing. I had just had I was nursing my second child. I had one child at home, a husband that worked out of town during the week. So I was a little overwhelmed, and I was tired. I had no energy. I was in a hurry constantly, always in a hurry. So I would find myself, grabbing chips and salsa for dinner, or a cheese stick, or sometimes skipping dinner just so I could, get the kids to bed at a normal time. And I was not fueling my body how I needed to. But this is really, this has been great for my lifestyle because I am a busy working mom. I am always on the go. I don't really take a lot of time just to, have me time, and it's fit beautifully into my lifestyle. It's been very affordable for our family because it's a priority, and if something's important to you, you'll make it happen no matter what. So.
Yes. I agree, 1,000%. Our food bill has gone down. We've just shifted our spendings instead of just spending all of the money we were already buying organic and very expensive. So for us, it saved money because that food's not cheap. But we've just shifted from grocery store shopping to half of our shopping is done now online through the Isogenics site. Tell me real quick, if you can. Now, you started because you were nursing. You could not do the cleanse. And I'm currently nursing, so I'm not doing it either, but I did start the program with, the full 30-day. But for you started with just the shakes initially, and that's what you saw was the side effects of alkalinity. So tell me a little bit about how that was for you. Did you have weight to lose, or what was it that made you love? What made Amber Hoover, the dietitian who works in this industry, love isogenics with just the shakes alone?
Okay, so I was nursing. I was tired all the time. I literally had horrible sleeping habits. I probably could still use a little improvement there, but I mean, I had bags under my eyes. I was always so tired. I would fall asleep at my desk at work. I was so tired all the time. And within literally 3 days of just using 2 shakes a day, I started using the Insanity DVDs that I had ordered that had been sitting on my shelf, and I'm thinking, well, gosh, I feel pretty good. Let me do one of these DVDs. And I proceeded to do one 6 out of the 7 days of the week for months, and it felt great. And I was like, I've not felt this good. I was still nursing through that whole time period. I was not able to cleanse yet, but I knew my day would come, and I knew that I was not going to stop doing these shakes. Before my husband really knew about the amazingness of Isogenics, he would just say, oh, great, here's your shipment of Isogenics again this month. And I'm like, yes. He's like, is this going to keep coming every month? I said, yes. So I just, I told him it's get used to it. That brown box is going to show up at the door every month, and you might as well hop on board because it's going to be there. Because why would I want to go back to what I was doing? It wouldn't make any sense. So I knew I had to keep doing it. So I did use Isogenics for over a year before I was able, actually more than that, before I was able to cleanse. And that just took it, my energy levels to a whole new level. So I love the cleanse. I love my Ionics. I drink it every day, sometimes twice a day. My husband is just recovering from pneumonia, and I doubled my dose of Ionics while he was home sick for the last week and a half. And luckily, I've been well. The kids have been well. He was the only one that got sick, and he actually just sort of admits that he was probably off the plan just a little bit. So he's back up and running, and, that Ionics is amazing just from a stress relief level as well. It's really helped with stress and, let's see, just making us, overall adapting to whatever we're kind of like needing for that moment. So,
Amber, thank you so much for getting on this call with us tonight. I love that we can do this together because as someone who's in the natural health arena and, alternative medicine and clean eating and stay away from chemicals and being just alternative, a lot of times there's this dividing line between conventional medicine and alternative medicine, and we don't see eye to eye. And that is starting to change, but for a long time we just didn't see things the same way. You had the conventional medicine pushing pharmaceutical, and then you had alternative medicine pushing herbs, and we just couldn't make it work together. And now we're seeing that crossover. And I love the fact that you are a registered dietitian in a conventional clinical setting, and here I am, the alternative medicine specialist, and we've come together to talk about how amazing this product is. And I mean, aside from us being friends, I think, we can say that we would have came together regardless, because I have plenty of friends that I argue with about other things. So I love that we don't argue about this product, and that, it just kind of validates for all those people that we have a lot of doctors who are skeptics, but we also have a lot of doctors who recognize that there is a new way. That old school way, we don't know. People don't want to just treat everything with a pill anymore. We want to treat the problem. We don't want a Band-Aid solution. We want to get to the root of the problem, and that's what our system tries to do by getting our body into this state of balance. So, Amber, thank you so much for your time tonight. I know we ran a little bit over, but we just had so much info, and I really wanted everyone to hear from you. So we hope to have you back again soon.
Oh, thank you so much. I loved it.
Awesome. So that was Amber Hoover, guys. It's really a special treat to have her because she's so knowledgeable in her field, and I'm just so excited to have her on board. So if you're looking to get started on this, get back in touch with the person who sent you to this call, the person who introduced you to Isagenix. They'll help you. All they're going to do is create your account for you. You're going to have your wholesale account where you can go on and choose the products that work. They'll work with you. At this point, pretty much everyone has Isagenix Facebook pages, and we have coaching, and we help you through this, and we get you set up so that you can, start your transformation. There will be another call tomorrow night for those who are interested in the business. There is a business attached to this, and I ended up getting involved in one and growing a pretty big one with no intention of doing so, but it was just that I had this, like I said earlier in the call, when I had this experience, the first thing I thought of, and I was excited how I felt, but the first thing I thought of was, oh my gosh, there's so many people that need this. I can help so many people because I don't know anybody who's as picky as me. I don't know anybody who eats as clean as me. I don't know anyone who's doing as many things right as I thought I was doing. So all these people who aren't doing that, I can change their lives. And so I just started sharing, and then they had the same experience I did, and then they started sharing, and it just had that snowball effect, and we ended up doing this as a business as well. And so, like I said, now I end up on these calls coaching other people. So tomorrow night, same time, there will be a business call just discussing the business and how to get started with that. To get started right away with this program, if you want to earn some money up front, Isagenix has a really good referral rewards program. So if you go out and find two people, we call them cleanse buddies, find two people who want to get started with you if they need more energy, they need to improve their health, they need weight loss, whatever it is, find your two buddies, all of you create your account to get started together, and Isagenix is going to give you half off of your 30-day program just by finding those two people. And if those two people go out and find their two, yours is free. So it's a really simple way to get started with this program without costing you anything. So, everyone knows two people who need something. We are solutions to transform lives. So thank you for your call. Thank you for calling in and listening to my call tonight. Thank you for your time. And like I said, you can get back on tomorrow night. And when you're looking to get started, get back in touch with the person who sent you to us. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.